here. So there we go. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Well, Ryan, welcome back here at Mayor's Monday, WSAU, WSAU.com. Obviously, been a couple of months. What's going on in Rothschild? I mean, what's going on since the last time we talked?
Sure, yeah, things thankfully are pretty status quo right now. We're very appreciative. I think one of the bigger things, again, is that PFAS water treatment facility. And as you guys are aware, building that out over the last, several months, hoping to wrap that up, providing everything goes well and we can keep getting material, but really hoping for that right around, I'm going to say November-ish of 2025 here, that'll be operational. And again, that's to bring our PFAS levels in the village of Rothschild to essentially non-traceable. So the water quality should continue to improve as that comes online, and so we're very excited for that. But again, taking up a decent footprint, probably as some have been aware, to the north side of our current water treatment plant. But we're excited for it.
Absolutely. So at what point, at this point, what percentage of done, I guess you could say, are you on that project?
Yeah, I'm going to say between that 50 and 60% is probably a good guesstimate of the percent completion that we're at. There's a lot of internal items now that are going to be worked on over the next several months. But as you can, if people drive by right now, you're going to see a shell, and so that shell is well underway, and over the next several months they'll be working on the inside of it and more of the logistics of it, and again hoping for that November of 2025 to really be operational.
Yeah, so I guess you in your area here, being ones that basically built something special for this, added on to the facility, I mean, are you finding that you've had a lot of other municipalities, a lot of other water systems giving you a call saying, hey, what have you found that works with your water, because we're finding this as well, or we want to get ahead of this?
Yeah, we have exactly that. We have had others that have reached out currently. I wouldn't say that they're all just in Marathon County. There's ones outside of Marathon County that have been reaching out. I think really being is we're taking more of a proactive approach to it. And so what we're trying to do is find ways that we can continue to improve that water quality, not just for PFAS, but maybe chlorides, all sorts of items that we value here. And I think our Water Utility Commission, along with our village board and the village of Rothschild, has been, I think, very vocal in a positive way to say, hey, this is important. We realize that this needs to continue on, and something that we want to be, I'm going to say, leading the pack in. And so, yes, others have reached out, and we're appreciative of that. And the more teamwork and collaboration we can have, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, you mentioned as long as you can get everything in. Are you having any issues right now as far as maybe getting a hold of some of those materials, or I guess maybe even funding-wise, because obviously that's something that's on everybody's mind here these days since the Trump administration has taken over?
Yeah, no, everything's been going well so far. We haven't had any real hiccups or any major concerns in terms of funding or for getting material. It's mainly those unprecedented, I'm going to say, contingencies, right? So, you're in the project just like a road project. You're in the project and something comes up that was unforeseen. And it's, oh shoot, maybe we have to order this that we didn't plan for, or hey, we got to have this workaround because of X, Y, and Z. And so, that's where we're always cautiously optimistic.
Right.
But no, we're very thankful and blessed that right now a lot of things have been trending in the good direction for us, and so hopefully that trend keeps up.
Yeah, I guess just like any kitchen remodel, right? Once you really get behind the backsplash, then you see what's back there.
Certainly,
so, yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. So great to hear that project is going well. I know that's something that here when November kind of rolls around, it's going to be a big sigh of relief for a lot of people once you do get that online, and those first few gallons of water are getting distributed through this system.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, and I reiterate as much as I can, is Rothschild's water, again, the EPA is holding it to a much higher standard. I believe it's around 70 parts per trillion is what their current threshold is, but obviously reducing that to essentially non-traceable or non-detectable. So Rothschild's parts per trillion regarding PFAS, we hover, I'm going to say, the high teens, low 20s parts per trillion. So our water level currently is still well below what the EPA standard is. But again, what we're trying to do is be in compliance over the next several years once that compliance or that regulatory side changes from saying, okay, maybe we're at 70 parts per trillion and now we have to be untraceable or undetectable. That's what we're really trying to do. So that's what we're the most excited for, is again taking our water and just bring it, even making it healthier than it currently is.
Absolutely. And another thing that you've been working on over the last couple of years for is the merger of the police department, the Rothschild PD and what was the Everest Metro PD, now the Mountain Bay Metro PD. What have you found here in the last, has it been just about 12 months now?
Yeah, so it's been...
Yeah, that you've all been together under one roof?
Yeah, so great question. Really, the documents were signed right around that end of March of 2024. So we're right here now. It's been about 1 year,
right.
And we're thankful. I think, along with the village of Weston, the city of Schofield, and town of Weston, by no means did we go into it knowing every avenue that we'd be approaching, because these mergers don't happen all the time. And so this type of a police department merger, we're actually getting questions from agencies more on the southern side of the state of Wisconsin to try to emulate or try to illustrate in their way to essentially mimic it, because it has been working out so well. So we're very, very blessed, very honored that the transition has been great. We've had learning curves here and there in terms of administration side and the paperwork, through insurances and through how programs work, and just the difference of name changing and how that works with the state of Wisconsin. And there's certainly hurdles through it, but it's been a process that's been great to learn, and to have Jamie with the Village of Weston, their administrator, alongside of us, along with working with the city of Schofield and the town. We're very appreciative of all four of these communities coming together. I think it's been tremendous, to see that something, well before our time, Michael, of, over the last, I'm going to say, couple decades, this has been discussed. And, over the last, say, 10 years, closing in that gap, they've tried this before. And I think what we're so, again, so blessed for is just having that makeup of the officers core, the boots on the ground that are willing to be teamwork and have that hybrid approach. And we can't thank them enough for everything that they do. And then our administration side, from the police standpoint, and all the other communities, everybody coming together and really making it work. And what we're realizing now is, as this department is growing, is, hey, we're kind of running out of space here. So we are looking at, in the Mountain Bay Metropolitan Police Department Oversight Committee, what we're looking at is actually potentially building a new police department building to house all these officers. And so, again, very honored, very blessed, and just excited to see what this police department can do going forward. So
what is it that you're finding you need more space for then? Because I know the growth and maybe more specialized approaches is something that you touted as a positive when this all got announced about just over a year ago, whether it was special investigative teams or more training, whatever it was. You said we have the opportunity here to be more specialized. I mean, is that one of the things that you're looking for?
Yes, it is. And that's one of the things that Chief Jeremy Hunt has been doing a tremendous job of growing a department that is staffing individuals in these roles, and these more, whether it's the investigation side, whether it's the road detail, you name it. It's a collective approach and putting individuals in the right positions. And our building here currently, so out of the Village of Rothschild Administrative Building, is where the Police Department of Rothschild is attached to. And now transitioning to the Mountain Bay Metropolitan Police Department, all those officers are still working under that same facility. So that building, or I'm going to say that portion of the office space that's attached to this building, it really is meant for, I'm going to say, maybe 20, 22 officers. And we have about 40, 41 officers currently. So we are almost double of what really that is meant for down there. So it's certainly an area that is compressed for space. So again, looking at what are ways that we can cost effectively make sure that this transition, however we decide to do this moving forward, is smart in the sense of not trying to be spending money in areas that we shouldn't be. So again, being cost effective, and that's what our oversight board has been tremendous at doing so far, is looking at ways to prioritize the officer space and getting them the essential needs and office space that they need to be successful, but also in an area that they can do so in a very cost effective way.
Right. And I think as anybody who's worked in a in an environment like that, I can tell you, it's good to have somebody sharing a cubicle with you or within close proximity like that sometimes. But there's also sometimes where you're working where you kind of need your space. So I'm guessing if you've got maybe 2 officers sharing a cubicle at times, that's probably not the most effective way to be using your space, whether it's just a regular office setting or something as intense as, say, policing.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely right.
Yeah. So yeah, if you had to share your cubicle in there with somebody, sometimes it may not. You may want to boot them out and say, hey, can you give me a couple hours here? Yeah. So, but yeah, like you said, it's about using the taxpayer dollars wisely, though. So where are we at right now in the, I guess you could say, the planning stages for this, and when could we maybe see some sort of tangible action?
Yeah, in terms of tangible action, that's really kind of up in the air at this point. But in terms of planning, working through building design. So the group, the Mountain Bay Metropolitan Police Department Oversight Committee, has been working with HTG, an architect out of the Twin Cities, and the Bolt Company currently. And again, we're no construction, no anything of that sort. It's just looking at feasibility, what's needed, looking at the drawings. And so I'm going to say we're at kind of early stages yet, but really just trying to develop and understand what's needed and what's to come. How can we prepare this for the future? Because this is a department that obviously is taking on quite a space. Together we're looking at it. It's about a 40 square mile jurisdiction now, so it's certainly sizable, serving just over 24,000 residents on the southeast side of Wausau here. So it's a sizable location, it's a sizable jurisdiction, and we're happy that the police department has been successful as it has so far.
So then that said, as far as the operations go, is basically everything's being operated out of Rothschild right now. Do you still have some operations in Weston right now?
No, all operations are out of the Rothschild building.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And then as the department grows, though, is there going to be a time where there may be a need to have maybe kind of a satellite office where, if nothing else, officers can go to just clock in, get started, and maybe have a locker there before they head out?
I don't see that happening, like a precinct essentially. I don't see that happening. I think hopefully we're able to contain it and have smart growth and whatever process that we do moving forward, to have one central location so that everything's in one. That's the goal.
Absolutely. Anything else you'd like us to know then, Meir, before we let you go this week?
I think that's all. I know that was a lot, but
Right.
some good stuff happening.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll look forward to chatting again in the future.
Sounds great.